So fourth quarter execution certainly played a part in the Celtics win over the Washington Wizards here at TD Garden. However, it wasn't necessarily the last couple of minutes, but more the first half of that fourth quarter, right, Jimmy? I mean, the Celtics did go down by a point. It wasn't a huge cause for concern against a team like the Wizards, but you saw them really buckle down defensively, make the stops that they needed to make, and of course run away with the win in that fourth quarter, especially halfway through the fourth, and then pretty much throughout the end of the game.
Yeah, I think the word I would use for that fourth quarter is like unique. I think it was just different than a lot of the fourth quarters you've seen because. Quick, tell me one thing Kyrie Irving did in the fourth quarter. You probably can't. I mean, he didn't score. He played on
a couple hockey assists.
Sure. I mean, I'm not saying he played poorly. I'm just saying it wasn't one of those games where they had to ride Kyrie Irving's hot hand in the fourth quarter. It was actually, you know, a player that we haven't talked about late in games much as Jaylen Brown. He played the entire fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Marcus Morris sat the entire fourth quarter. I thought that was very interesting because there's been some talk about whether or not the Celtics should rearrange their starting lineup, and obviously that would be one of the first switches that would be made. Would be Brown going in, Morris coming out. So that was interesting, and I thought Brown really gave them what they needed, which was defensive effort and energy. His line tonight's not going to jump out at you. 4 for 13 from the field. Obviously not a great shooting night, but he was all over the place. And actually, Marcus Smart said after the game that Jaylen Brown. He goes, Jaylen Brown kind of looked like me out there on defense.
Yeah,
it's been a while since been a while since I've seen Jaylen Brown play defense like that. So now I think the message is bring it every night.
This segment is powered by betonline.ag. Right now, when you head to clnsmedia.com/win, you enter the promo code CLNS50, you'll get 50% cash back on your first deposit. Head over to clnsmedia.com/win. That's, you know what, that's a really good point, Jimmy, that you bring that up, because people are sort of, they're thinking that that's going to, of course, like, you love that, right? People are thinking that that's inevitable, that switch has to happen, that Jaylen Brown, because he's been playing so well, especially on the offensive end, that he's just bound to take over the starting spot over Marcus Morris. I'm still not too crazy about that. I thought Marcus Morris overall did play a good game. I mean, he only played 3 quarters, so I think it speaks volumes as to how efficient he was offensively. I'm not crazy about switching up the starting 5, but when Jaylen Brown is playing this well, I mean, it's kind of hard not to, you know, agree with that argument.
I mean, I think you have to at least consider it, because the Celtics before this win, they losers of 4 in a row, looked very bad. And I think I don't say you make a move like that because I got out of panic. I just think it's been a long time coming. Marcus Morris hasn't had the hot hand that he had the first half of the season. He's been pretty cold since the All-Star break. And that's just something that you could consider. And I thought tonight was a good look at what that would look like because Brown was playing extended minutes with that unit. So it's something that I'm going to keep my eye on. I wouldn't hate it if they tried it, but I think it's something that if they're going to do, sooner than later, because you're under 20 games left now into the regular season. If you're going to make some pretty big changes to your lineup, you want to get those guys reacclimated to their roles.
You want that momentum heading into the postseason, absolutely. Yeah, all right, well, we'll see what happens. Real quick, though, Gordon Hayward coming off the bench. Didn't really do a whole lot in this game. You know, it's kind of a tough game for him. You know, you saw everyone else feeling it. He couldn't really find his offense much. I mean, what does that say about the second unit? If that switch were to happen, how's that going to pan out?
It's tough because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, put Gordon Hayward back in the starting lineup too." But I'm still looking for him to be just more aggressive. And what stinks is that I thought the All-Star break came at the worst time for him because he was averaging 17 points over his last 5 going into the All-Star break. And now it seems like he's sort of taking a back seat a little bit again.
Cooled him off.
Exactly, yeah. So I think he needs to just get back in the swing of things, find his shot, be a little bit more aggressive. Sometimes they might not be drawing up plays for you, but they're not drawing up plays every single time down the court either. You got to find your shot. You got to be aggressive. You can't tell me in Utah he wasn't looking for his shot all the time. So, yeah, of course, different roster here, and he's not the #1 option. But at some point, you have to just be a little bit of aggressive and get yourself going.
Well, one thing I agree with is if you're doing your thing defensively like Jaylen Brown was, you should be rewarded like that. And that's exactly what Brad Stevens did in this fourth quarter. We'll see if we can see the same thing Sunday in a matinee matchup here at TD Garden against the Rockets, and we'll see you then.